Okay, I just got done teaching a class and I'm going to walk you through. Okay, this is in reverse now. Like, okay, sorry. I wanted to show you the lesson, but Instagram has it in reverse. So if I show you, you can't really read it because it's in reverse. So anyway, I just got done teaching a session. Hey, Miss Kubalaga, how are you? If you want to come on, let's come on. If you're available. I just got done doing like a series on lost and found. I know you've done the lost and found, and I'm just sharing it with the world out there. And I went through lost, problem, solution, offer. So being lost is the symptom. So there are people out on social media. So if you're an entrepreneur, this is for you, right? It's how do you acquire customers? This is a strategy, the underlying fundamental strategy that will support you. So lost is people are experiencing symptoms, pain, struggle, right? Challenges, they're feeling somehow. Can you capture that? Yeah, I'm doing well. Yes, I'm available in 1 minute. Awesome. So the loss is symptoms, frustration, right? They're not getting the results they want to get, right? And then the problem is, why are they experiencing the symptoms? So I use the example of medical doctor, right? You go in, you say you have an earache. Okay, I get it. The doctor looks at the ear and says, oh, you have an ear infection. So the problem is the ear infection. The symptoms is the pain. Okay, the earache is the symptom. The problem is, let me bring you, let's see, how do you do this? Pin, no, do. Okay, how do I, oh, it's been a while since I did this. When someone joins, anyone cannot, okay, I think this is, oh my. So I'm trying to send you an invite. Is there a quick way for you to, oh no. Can you, are you able to send the invitation? It's been a while since I did a, oh my. I'm not, okay. Please send the invitation when you're ready. Okay, let me go back to, so lost is the symptoms. The people you want to sell to, the people you want to support, the people you want to serve with your product and services, they're lost, they're going through some of the symptoms, okay, they're feeling frustrated, they have aspirations they're not able to achieve, okay, they have struggles, challenges, they're going through stress, on and on and on. Capture that. That's the symptoms. That's the feeling. That's what they're experiencing. But you as the experts need to dive into the world of the problem. This is where you go into diagnosing what the problem is, cause and effect. Beneath all of that is, for me and for entrepreneurs, okay, send a request. My. I think this is better now. It's going to work. Is it going to work? I hope so. Yes.
Hello, hello.
Tell me. Always a pleasure, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, let me get myself together.
Yes. So tell me, you've done Lost and Found.
Uh-huh.
And I saw you, the picture you posted, Lost and Found. So I'm drawing some things here, but because the mirror is reversing,
Yeah.
people can read it.
Uh-huh.
So how are you? What's your take? What did that do for you? What's your take?
It really clarified my messaging. When I
Okay.
went through that process, I remember doing that. And like I know it was just recent, but it feels so long ago because I feel like I've gone so far ahead since doing that work. It like collapses time when you sit there and really think deeply about where they are and where you're trying to move them to, and how you have to talk to them differently based on where they are, trying to get
Yeah.
them found. It was one of the most valuable exercises I've done. I have to say. I mean,
It's
I
a
love
game
all your
changer.
stuff, you know that, but that
No,
was
but
very
here's the
useful.
key though. The reason it was valuable is because to do it well, you needed to have laid the right foundation.
Yeah.
Because you and I can engage at a certain level now. Like I can just feel this, like, oh yeah, the problem is this. Yes, this is this. This is my so I can do it like in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But most people that have not done the work will not appreciate this.
I can see that.
You can't unlock the value if you cannot address the questions.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I remember when I sat there to do it, it really, you have to think deeply. And each time you're thinking of where they are, you have to, all right, now I put myself here now. And what are the issues they're having? What are the kinds of questions? What are the things that will move them to, what do I have to, like, even kind of objections will they have that I have to, address head on? And I actually ended up being able to do that within my sales page. I was telling someone, I said, I was able to sit down and think of what are the objections they would have based on where they are, and just hit it head on in my copy, and just be like,
that's where the magnetic messaging and conversion comes in.
Yes.
That's why, again, people can, everything we're talking about on the surface is like simple, but but beneath it, it's complex. This is why in SAP we say it's easy to make complex, it's complex to make easy. It's easy. People that, those who want to sell some, buy now, they make you feel crazy. But this simple stuff is what has been engineered.
Yes.
This is simple to use because of the engineering behind it.
Yeah.
Anything you buy that is too complex to use actually means they've not designed it well.
I've been thought, well, it's interesting, and I'm going to take this to fashion. I am not a fashion person. I've always said this. Oh no, you froze, or did you lose me?
Oh, are you still able to see me?
I can hear you. Okay, there you are. Okay, could you hear me?
Do I need to switch this to my wireless?
Is it me?
Can you see me now?
You're glitching a little bit.
Give me a moment. Let me switch. I don't know if this would work. If I switch it to wireless, work.
Inshallah.
Tell me where you can see me or hear me.
Hear you. It's perfect now. Hear you, see you. Wonderful.
Can you see me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I switched to wireless. Okay, sorry.
Good.
Go on. Fashion.
I'm not a fashion person. Never have been. But I like simple things. And I could never understand for the longest time why they were so expensive. And I remember my mom looking at me going, all the flaws can be seen. Mm-hmm. So when it's simple, that means they've really taken the time to really craft it really well. So it's very appealing for you. Mm-hmm. There's no friction there. And I think it's the same thing in business. To make it simple and frictionless, you've done so much work on the back end. Right.
It's so much work. That's it. Because this exercise is simple, but people can't do it if they've not done the background. Because if I say, okay, as example, the academy, right? Those who are lost, they're feeling symptoms, they're not getting the results, nobody's buying, nobody's paying them attention, they're feeling frustrated, on and on and on. They're not getting the results. Okay. The problem, this is one of the things you might want to also revisit this, because the more we do this, the more we unlock. The problem is, why are they having those symptoms? It's like the hair ache. Your hair may ache. You go in, the doctor's job is to diagnose. Yeah. Oh, you have a hair infection.
Yeah.
So people will say, I have toothache, I'm uncomfortable, it's painful, sleepless nights. But when the doctor looks in, the dentist looks, cavity. Right? Yes. Cavity is when we call out the problem. So as the example, the problems I keep calling out is lack of skill, lack of knowledge, lack of systems, lack of strategies, lack of the right mindset, lack of patience,
lack of clarity.
Right? we
Yep.
have to call it out to say you're feeling pain because of this. Now, here's another game changer. In your industry,
Mm-hmm.
how have your peers, how are they addressing the known problems?
Mm.
Because let me explain. In my industry, I have a list of problems here, but most coaches and people out there will they'll scratch the surface. So for example, people will come to you and say, hey, Kabbalah guy, I can help you create a course. What they're tackling is just your product.
Right.
Another would say, hey, Kabbalah guy, I can help you with your brand. Your brand is the problem. I'll create your logo, your website, da 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 da.
And now I know what branding is. I know that that's not really what I need.
I
But
get
when you
it.
don't know, you think when someone tells you, I'll do your branding for you.
So the reason I'm sharing this next layer is because this is where you also have to craft your differentiating message. How am I
Mhm.
different? Now that you know the problem,
Yeah.
now that you and I know the problem, the lengthy list of problems, you're going to have options. We have competition out there.
Yeah. This is
That is,
okay. Now, this is why, okay, in my industry, because I'm in education, literacy, reading skills, when I sit and think about it, the issue, the kids can't read. The main thing they'll tell parents, oh, your child needs to work on phonics. I'm like, before they even get there, honey, there's a whole other set of skills. If they don't have those, they won't get the phonics. But very few people ever talk about that. They don't understand it, teachers included. And I'm just like, whoa. And what I've been screaming from the rafters is see how these skills align to these phonics skills.
mm-hmm.
If they don't get this, they won't get this. And if they don't get those phonics skills, good luck trying to read.
Yeah, now you can craft another message on, we now understand what the problem is. We know what the symptoms are. They can't read. We agree on the problem. You can have a new conversation when there's agreement on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation is, now these are the problems, but other people have attempted to solve this problem this way. You can talk about your peers. Like if you go to this website, you know you can buy this. If you go to this website, you know you can buy this. That's where you're spending your money. But you've been spending your money there for years. It hasn't still addressed this problem. This is why. Because da 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 da. So I'll explain to you the because for me now. The academy why. So lack of skill is a known problem. But generally speaking out there, people don't have the capacity that I do. They might just say, I'm an expert in sales. I'm an expert in marketing. I'm an expert in branding. So they would offer you a slice of solution.
Mm-hmm.
In one area, you invest thousands of dollars there, you still have your symptoms.
True.
So somebody might say, I will become your content creator, Kabbalah guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am a content media, whatever media agency. I'll help you create massive amount of content. You hire them, you think all your problem has gone away. No. I will help you create your website. You hire them, pay them thousands of dollars. Has your problem gone away? No. You see my point? So I can have that conversation to say, lack of skills is the big umbrella. What skills you're missing? It's a list.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can say lack of knowledge is the problem. This is why you have 1,000 master classes out there. Let me teach you how to convert here. Let me teach you Reels. Let me teach you, what's the other one? What's the other platform?
TikTok.
Yes, there's TikTok. There's another one that pictures.
Oh, Pinterest.
Pinterest. I'm going to teach you how to use Pinterest. I'll give you the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with these things. The key is that mindset is not, nobody talks about mindset, right? Nobody talks about confidence. Nobody talks about showing up. Nobody talks about communication, networking, on and on, the skills for success. So while we agree on this list of problems, how then in the world there are zillion solutions. But what I have done in my academy, instead of selling you one course that tackles one of this 40 course segments, as an entire program. It took a year to teach it. Now you can complete it in 10 weeks.
Yeah. And it's amazing.
And it's
that
is all.
Yeah.
That is my differentiator.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is me acknowledging that there are so many other people offering you different things. I get it. You can easily spend $100,000 chasing solutions mindset. You go to Tony Robbins, you go to branding, you do lead funnel. What's his name?
Russell
Brunson. You can get ClickFunnels. Even if you buy ClickFunnels, it's not going to teach you what your mindset, what's going on, your family history, your belief system. Okay. You can easily spend $100,000 tackling all this problem easily, right? Because there's a coach for everything.
Oh yeah.
Branding coach, storytelling coach. No, nothing wrong with this. I'm just saying, let's have the conversation, Kubala guy.
It's
you
true.
Can have the conversation.
The thing is, there's lots of coaches for different things, but I feel like what differentiated your program for me was it felt like there was a foundation that was laid. And then it was, all right, now we start putting these other pieces on top of that. But if that foundation is not there, and if you don't, even before the foundation, if you don't dig in and scoop out all that nonsense that you need to get out first, then you pour that foundation, then you start building. Because what I realized, 2022 was a year, man, and that was my year with Toyin and going through the whole program, and a lot of stuff starts to come up, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of you start to realize why you do things the way you do and the stories you tell yourself and how you have to switch it for your message to actually come through to the people that you're trying to talk to. And and not everyone talks about that. People don't see the connection with all that stuff. So I can have the best logos and whatnot, looks great, but the energy behind it doesn't connect because I have my own limiting beliefs based on my nurture, nature, culture that you're always talking about. Like it really, honestly, that program, it brought it all together for me. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been missing. This is what I've been needing to lead up to and see the progression of how things work. And once I was able to do that deep work, now what I was actually able to produce was different in terms of breadth and value, way more valuable than anything I'd produced before. Because I'd done all that scooping out, because I'd listened to how well do you know your customers? What do they actually want from you? What messaging do you have to, I mean, all of it. And now I can look at my pretty colors and say, I don't want purple anymore, I want orange because it speaks this. Now I can get to that fluffy stuff. And I'm sure there's psychology behind it and all that stuff. But there's deeper work that you don't associate with business, usually. And I feel that is one of the key differences. Because I did my books and I was like, ooh, child, I have paid a lot of money to a lot of people to get a lot of it.
Exactly. No, that's it. That's part of the conversation, is that the symptoms, for those who want to remove the pain, because also for you in your business, this is why I'm laying this out. How long does it have to take them to remove the pain? This is why I talk about, if you're going to California, do you want to make 100 tops or 100 stops? Or do you want Google to give you a straight line to California?
Right.
That you can follow, turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left, keep going, keep going, keep going, inspiration, encourage. Like, listen, when the radio lady stops talking, you're like, am I still on the right road? You see, I've been driving too long on this road, lady. That's where motivation comes in. Keep going. You just keep going.
Listen,
I remember the call you called me one day. You were like, Toy, I'm done.
I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. And you were like, go take a nap.
I said, go sleep, go and sleep. Like, stop, like on this road, just go to the nearest rest stop, drink cup of coffee, or do something and sleep. Yeah. When the cloud goes, you can continue your journey. That was the best thing I could offer you. And a few weeks later, Komola guy, you came out with
my reading program done, and it flowed effortlessly. And I say effortlessly, but it really wasn't effortless. It was all the buildup of the work I had been doing for months in the program, really clarifying and whatnot. And I think it was, you get to a point where there's a crescendo and you have to stop. And I didn't know I had to stop, but it wasn't a stop, it was a rest. I needed the rest.
Strategy.
And then boom, it all came together. And this program has been amazing. Like, I love it so much. And I've sold it around the world at this point, which makes me so happy. But I'm like, okay, this is what it is. It's a whole process of really, I see why people who can start multiple businesses now. Because once you've done that internal work, then it's, all right, now I just lay a new foundation for this new audience I want to serve and this new product, and I go through that process. And it just becomes like second nature.
You now have confidence, right? Because part of it is when you know what you're doing and when you know what you need to do to get results, you will do it more.
Yeah.
So this is where I talk about momentum.
Yeah.
Is that the moment you know what works, listen, game over. That's where automation comes in.
Listen. And I have put in some automation. Today I went and did my walk and I was like, oh my goodness, I have everything done that I needed to get done for the first time and I don't feel stressed. It was, what? And I'm expanding my audience and it's because I know what to say. I know what they need. I can, based on when I take a look at their profile or a couple of interactions, I know where they are and I know what I need to say to them to move them to the next step. Because the other thing I was doing, I remember when you and I first started working together, I was like, well, either they're ready or they're not. And you were like, no.
I said, this fish, don't throw it back. We just need to clean things up. Yeah, don't throw this fish.
Honestly, so now it's really seeing where they are and how I can help them. And I think that's the other thing. I don't think you're truly able to communicate that you can help someone transform or give them a solution until you believe that you can.
Yes.
Right? The product may be great, but if you don't believe it.
Yes. So if I come back to this, I want to, that statement, I want to layer it on the work, right? Remember, we talked about loss and then the problem. The requirement is only the experts can diagnose the problem.
Yeah.
So the doctor, you can go into a doctor and tell them if they have earache, if they haven't gone to school, to understand the symptoms and to be able to narrow down straight what the problem is. They can. So that journey of you becoming the expert is where the academic comes in. Because without being the experts, you can't identify the problems people are facing. You don't have the skill to look like, if you say I have an earache, right?
Go see a doctor, honey.
So that's what you just said is so 100% true. We want to help people. We want to sell them right. We want to sell them products and services. We want people to buy, but are we the experts, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because before you can sell a solution, this is also what I share here. You want to know what the problem is, and you need to have a certain level of intelligence about the need, the knowledge. You have to have a knowledge of the sickness or the disease of the, right? You have to have a knowledge of the industry, right? You have to be the expert. Now, I also separate problem from solution, right? Where loss is symptoms, you want to dive down into these are the problems. This is why you're going through this. And then the solution, right? The solution is different depending on which problem you're trying to tackle.
Right.
Right? So when you think about different learning styles in your space, what you're trying to teach will determine what you create.
Yeah.
One more thing I just introduced as well, I call it the offer.
Mm-hmm.
I make a distinction between your offer and your solution. Your offer is the compelling side, is the packaging and the branding and the labeling, the compelling side of your solution, because what I also found is that the product and service may be painful to swallow.
It's the selling people what they want and giving them what they want and need.
Right. The things they will put in the shopping cart that looks compelling, that looks nice. Hey, this is what I'm buying. The buyable, right?
Yes.
What appeals to me, it's like, I know you need penicillin. Bless you. I know you need penicillin like antibiotic. If I give it to you as it is, it's bitter. You're not going to take it. Okay. I'm going to encapsulate it. Or for kids, I'm going to put some sugar.
Yes. And they'll take it. My little niece was sick. She refused the first round of medicine they gave her. She would spit it out. She was 2.5. Spit it out, spit it out. They found a different one. And she was like, this is yummy. I take my medicine. And I was like, wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the offer, many people don't realize this distinction. They say, buy this, buy now, buy this, buy now, buy this, buy. But they don't have a compelling offer.
You know, I will say this. This is something I came to tweak in my messaging within the past couple weeks, because I sat there and thought about it. I was like, what parent actually wants to teach their child how to read? Nobody. Not a soul. They want their child to be reading, but they don't want to have to do it. So my offer is to get your child reading. Have your child reading. My solution is you're going to teach them with this program right here. You're going to have to put some work in.
You know, the next level of what you're trying to do, because you just identified another problem. Because sometimes when you've solved something a certain way, you might start seeing another problem you can solve. Should I tell you?
Tell them.
The parents do not want to teach, but can you create an app that does the work for them? Wink, wink. Download this app and load it on the iPad.
We'll see about it. We'll see about it. Something.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is once you've done this work, you just keep expanding. So you just talked about which parents wants to teach. They want the kids to learn. They don't want to teach. Can we create systems that can be delivered on behalf of the parents that still gets the results?
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what actually one of the ladies who purchased the program, she emailed me because I followed up with them, as you said, in the lost and found. Just because you're found does not mean we're finished.
Oh, you followed up with her. Week 10, you went through that transformation. Go on, please.
Right.
Awesome.
And she went, listen, I love it, but by the time I get home from work, I am so tired. Do you think I could hire a tutor to do this? I said, if you want, they can. I mean, they're in Liberia. So I was like, give it to your tutor, let them do it with your child, since you can't do it with them. It's designed for anyone who's not a teacher to be able to deliver that.
But okay. I love this kind of solution discovery type exercises, because when I hear things like this, I'm kind of like, we can do something with that. We can do something with that. And something meaning you could literally build another pillar in your business where you're certifying trainers with your curriculum, and then people can buy access to those trainers,
That'd be good.
either as independent trainers or under your brand still. So you have, there are different ways of implementing what I just shared.
Yeah.
You could build an internal, how Tony Robbins will say something like, he has a slew of coaches. It's like John Maxwell. I'm John Maxwell certified.
Yeah.
I'm Tony Umesi certified.
I have it on my LinkedIn. I have my certificate.
Oh, me. Let me go reshare your certificate. The AFCFTA one.
Yes.
The Tony Umesi certified, Nazaru certified. Listen, we're going there. We're going places, right? So just like John Maxwell, again, it depends on vision. This is where vision, 30 keys to unlock success is legacy, vision. This is where you start dreaming. Now you have the freedom to dream. Once you automate, the next level is dreaming. You can now dream some more, bigger dreams. So bigger dreams could be, do you see yourself of creating a new pillar, is becoming a certifying body? Because you do have the experience. You help nations, you help government to build this up, right? So I can't think of anybody else that has the skills to do this. If anybody's going to do this, right?
That is something I would love to do, because ultimately, I still have that soft spot of mine that is like, I want children to have access to this. And if I could certify people to deliver this, and if I could, because one of the things I was thinking of doing is creating a school version. So training teachers to actually deliver this and having schools, so having that piece is something I would love to do, because it works.
Yes, because I feel like this is what the other lady also in the academy, like, once you go through that 1 year program, you free yourself now to dream more. And part of this year is more growth, right? Yeah. So part of it could also be spending 2023 to say, I want to design a new certification program for teachers. So don't think thinking deeply, you want to do it little by little, because you can overwhelm yourself and do nothing. So first is decide, I want to build a certification program for teachers, so that the teachers can now be empowered to deliver this program to the kids. Keep that as a vision. How you're going to do it, don't overwhelm yourself first.
You'll get there eventually.
Exactly. Just make that, okay, I now have a new vision. I want to create a certification program for teachers, so that the teachers are equipped to leverage my curriculum and deliver this. This is an effective curriculum that achieves reading results faster, period. Like, don't question it. Make it as an assertion, as a statement, like, this deserves a place in the world. Full stop. Full stop. Next will be the how. Execution. Because what people do is they model the what's with the how, and then they go, but we can't do this, so we can't do this. So if you don't put a full stop, you're going to use how to corrupt the vision. Right? You're going to use how when you can't fix, because how could take you 5 years, it could take you a year, it could take you months, it could take you weeks. But when people cannot see how, they think it's impossible.
True.
So they minimize their vision, or they eliminate it and they delete it.
Or they delay it. And that is what happened with mine, because I couldn't see in 2020, this is what I wanted to do, what I've done now, but I couldn't see how I would do it. But as you said the last time we spoke, I needed to grow into this person that could deliver this, because I was brand new to entrepreneurship. I get to make the rules. I get to do what I like. Are you serious? So it's been a journey, and it's been very good, but it got me to a place where I could execute on this. And honestly, the clarity that comes with doing this work, the clarity, the confidence, like, it's amazing.
And for me, this is the promise. This is the offer. The symptoms is this, a list of all kinds of things the problem I'm saying is lack of skills, lack of this, lack of this. The solution is run through this program, and then the offer is when you finish that program, this is it. You can now do more.
Yeah.
You
And you
be
do it
getting results.
and you do it from a place of calm. Like you know, not just you get the results, you know what's going to come next. You know what the possible hurdles are in this next thing you're going to take on or this next expansion. You know what to expect. And you know that there's stuff you may not know yet. So you're prepared for that. Whereas when you don't go through this kind of work, you're just in the dark. Good luck, sis. What in the dark?
Yeah, I mean, even Minister Risi, who is also, she signed up end of last year. Within weeks, she launched some programs on Clubhouse. She's like making it.
Love it.
I said, yes. She'll just put her link up and she's just like, yes, enroll. Yes, enroll. Click, click, click. She told me she has enrolled. She couldn't believe. And she spent over a year on Clubhouse getting nothing much.
Mm-hmm.
And within weeks of getting this right, she's like, I know what I'm doing now. I've designed a new program to help people do this. We're doing 21 days of this and 7 days of this. Like she designed something just by going through the program. She was like, oh my goodness, I've been
I'm going to tell
around.
you what makes it sad. There is a piece of me that is sad because I have friends who are also entrepreneurs or trying to be, and I see them struggle. And I don't keep you a secret. I talk about you all the time. I talk about the program. My friend Carla, she got her book on Amazon delivered to, she's in,
Wow.
she's in the island somewhere. I forgot. She'll kill me when she sees this because she watches you too. But she got it delivered. She's like, we have the book club. I was like, yes,
Wow.
we have the book club to read this book. But I see not her, but have other friends who struggle. And I'm like, you need this. You need to invest in this and then just follow the directions. Do the work. It will clarify things for you because I see they have an amazing gift, but they can't get that gift out to people because they don't have all these bits and pieces in place yet.
And okay. I like to go through, like what you just shared is now the loss that have the symptoms and frustration. There's an offer, there's a solution. But there's also a story. There's a belief system in the way.
Yeah.
What's the belief system? I don't have the money. Let's dive into that. What's the belief system?
Some of it I've been told is, well, I don't think it would work for me.
Okay.
Or well, I have this other coach I'm using.
Okay.
All right. I don't have time.
Okay.
The money thing does come up.
Right.
But listen, where there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. Maybe not right now, but where there's a will, there's a way. But those are the main things I hear. And
one of the things that I hear, I know I need to enroll. I'll enroll sometime. In procrastination. Like I literally have people that will call me over months and will tell me, I know you have the solution I need, but not today.
And when I hear that, I think of my mother, who would be true African mother. When we were in school, if you messed something up or your grades weren't whatever, she'd look at you and go, I have my degrees with my name on it. You have to go get yours. I'm not suffering right now. This is yours. This is on you. I'm fine. and that's what it is. It's on them. You're fine. And it's
Right.
just, but I watch them and I'm just like, this is sad. I want you to feel what I literally sent a friend this message. I said, I need you to feel what I'm feeling right now. She hasn't done anything about it, but I was like, you need this. Trust me, the way I feel right now, the confidence and clarity I have right now, I want everybody who's in business to feel this. And I'm not saying it's constantly like that, because business is like this, but it's not like this,
Right.
like it was before.
Right. What I say is, it's like flying a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you become an expert, if you don't know how to fly the plane may not take off. Now you may know a few buttons, it may take off and then be nosediving.
Mm-hmm.
But the expert pilots, every time they know the risks. They know that there are conditions outside of their control, but they are trained to manage those conditions. So there's a certain confidence the pilot experiences, right? And when there's turbulence, which is what you're saying,
Yeah.
that the business climate, there are things outside of your control, but with the ones within your control, you have the skill, you are trained to watch out for the signs,
Mm-hmm.
you know how to work all the buttons, you know how this plane works, right? The engine, maybe you need to dial up marketing, your content strategy, maybe it's your sales pitch. You know how the plane works. You can fly your plane. Now, if you enter cloudy storm, you will hold on tight. You will not panic.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the skill. That is the experience I'm talking about. You're not going to,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Right.
not going to go through, oh, what's happening? Nobody bought today. Oh, they're not buying anymore. You're like, something is wrong. Is it the plane or is it the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're going to calm down. Even though you're in the cloud, your experience will kick in.
It does. And that happened to me recently. And what I realized, what I ended up doing was shutting everything out so I could laser focus on getting myself together so I could get my business together and figure out what am I missing that I need to add. And I need this piece right here. Added it in and okay. Things are starting to trend back the way I want them to go.
Right.
And so
that's it. You can only do it if you've done this work, because at the end of the day, you can also you can diagnose, you can look at your business, like taking your car for a check, right? You can now take your business on a checkup,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can say, okay, my magnetic message, do I need to tweak? Because the market can shift on you, right? The message that used to work a few months ago, a few weeks ago, you put it out there, nobody's responding. Oh, wait a minute. You can then say, okay, do I need to update my offer? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I need to expand my offer? Do I need to upgrade my offer? Do I need to add on more, right? Do I need to create more leads? Right?
Yeah.
Now you know what to do. You can then say, this is where you go into improvements, engineering, precision. You can now improve. You can now dial it up. It's like, we're going nuts. Do I need to turn my compass this way? At least you know how to use the compass. You know how to read the signs.
Right.
And now you're cheap. You can turn the dial.
Well, and the other thing about this is getting in community and getting around people is if you know something is not working, but you don't know what to do, you can call on someone. Say, look, this is what's going on. I don't quite know what to do. What do you suggest? And then it comes to, you're the expert. Help me diagnose this thing here, because I'm not quite sure what to do to fix it. So it's you can use your tools, and then you can call on an expert when you are at your limit. Because again, I've only been in this, but for I started in 2020.
And I have my just like I'm teaching. Listen, I go to people that have sold $27 billion business.
Yes.
I sit in their office and go, it's like, how are you doing? I'm like, oh my goodness. this is someone that has sold the 27. When I say 27, you say, no, it's 29 billion. Okay, 29 billion. He corrects me. In my mind, I always have 27. Say, no. Don't take away that 2 billion.
2 billion.
Don't take it away. So I sit in the rooms of people who raise ching like millions. Like I sit in their rooms, so I know where I go to for encouragement.
And just being in those spaces reminds you that, yes, the money is out there. The people who need this and are willing to pay for this, there's more than enough of them out there.
2 weeks ago, we still had a quick call. How are you? What are you up to these days? Oh, my book. I launched my book, my TV show, this. Oh, I'm teaching a lot. In fact, I've redesigned things so I can teach more. And he was like, yes. But I now told him, I said, I've lost my privacy, that there's a price to pay for doing this work this way, that I've had to lose my privacy to teach. And then he said, well, I have my privacy. I like mentoring, but I do it one-on-one. Nobody knows me. I don't want people to know me. So good luck to you.
Right.
He says, I enjoy mentoring people too, but I don't want to do it out there. So sorry. Right? So I have those conversations of, like, I remember the year 2020. And then I was like, quoting scriptures, the Lord is my shepherd. And this guy said, oh yeah. He says, tell me about it. You've not entered the valley of the shadow of death.
Honestly.
He said, on my own journey, year 1 was fun. Year 2 to year 9, OMG, couldn't sleep. I mean, you're building multi-billion-dollar businesses, right? Like, so anyway, I don't know. We just went into that. I'm just saying, what we were saying is this idea that seeking advice, seeking help, seeking guidance, just decide who you need, right? Decide what you need, decide who you need. Back to my own strategy of why I designed my own offer and solution as a full school is that there are 40 course segments taught over a year that you can now complete the accelerated version in 10 weeks because it tackles everything. You're going to find coaches out there that promises you branding, promises you to teach this because that's their capacity. People can only offer you what they know, their experience. I happen to have served at the headquarters of the world's biggest company as a certified SAP consultant, handling a whole lot of systems, from procurement systems, manufacturing systems, right, the 360 of business. And that's why I had to build a 360 solution, right? Mindset, right? Business design, business model, customer insights, on like the 360 of business development. That's really the offer that I have. You're going to find many offers out there, a slew of them. Some will tell you mindset, some will teach you life coaching, some will teach you branding, some will teach you marketing, some will teach you sales, some will teach you what else? Insights, on and on and on. Nothing wrong with them. You will need to go through all of them.
Yeah.
For you to get everything.
When you're starting out, you need the 360. You need all of it, but it's rare to find somewhere that does all of it. It's rare.
Yeah, it's actually, it doesn't, because you know why I'm almost saying this doesn't exist, because I feel I'm the best in the world. The reason is because there's a certain very, very popular business development guru. I won't say her name, on YouTube, like she's one of the top, if not the top female. I had someone that I've gone through a program that paid, I think, was it 2,000 with 19 something like that. And when I heard that person talk about their experience, I knew the job wasn't complete. You see my point? Like when people go through your program and they come out on the other side, still whining, still complaining, still missing certain things, that made me go, no matter what you're offering, you can offer systems and everything, right? When people come out of it and there's still symptoms of failure. If you take your car to the mechanic, he fixed your oil gauge. You come out and your something is still. Well, guess what? You could have told me, mechanic, that there's something wrong. That's why if you go to, we use dealership a lot because they use diagnosis tool to look at the 360 car, not just what you think is wrong. You know, you could tell them, oh, I see yellow lights. You know, the bad mechanic would just fix that yellow light. They won't fix the problem,
right?
Because they don't have the knowledge to diagnose the fundamental. They can just turn that light off and send you back, and now you feel you're good. Until you hear, boo! And oh my goodness, but I took it
again. So it comes up again, or you're not getting the outcomes you thought you would be getting. And
right. So I think part of, you also have to think about this in your space. How do you now almost have to educate your potential clients how to make the right choices?
And that's one of my, I was putting together my content calendar because I'm rejigging how I'm doing
my content calendar.
Calendar that I'm myself, that I'm not hiring out because I understand how to do it now. I understand what platform I'm on, all the things. And that was one of the things, was I need to educate them so when they do get my program, they understand what they're getting. They understand why it's laid out the way it is. They understand, because my thing is, so being in these groups with all these moms, they'll jump around these programs, and I'm like, honey, if you don't do it the way it's designed that way for a reason. And because I was talking about, one mom asked something, and I was answering her, explaining why her child was missing certain things and what the steps are, just giving free advice. And she was like, what? And this one other mother came in and said, she uses a different program, which is rare. She goes, oh yeah, and they do the same thing. We don't touch letters for a long time. And I was like, that would be a good program.
Okay.
You finally have something because most of the programs out there are not. They don't, Hooked on Phonics. Sorry. It's
so
only
you can actually, sorry. Why? You have an opportunity, just listening to you. I think you're ready to, can you do a video on this? For like breaking down the different types of program you're going to see out there, and you rating those programs and telling them why, and then presenting yours and telling them why you designed yours that way.
That's a good idea. I'll do that.
Because sometimes we're trying to sell as if we're selling in a vacuum.
And no,
the customers are, it's like you go to a Walmart, you want to buy toothpaste.
Right.
You have options.
Yeah.
Right. So you see on the label, it tells you this is soda, this is whitening.
This flavor,
charcoal
flavor.
Why are we doing that? We're calling out to say, I know you're right now considering many options, and those options doesn't have what I've put in this, and those options doesn't do it this way. So it's us acknowledging that your customers, the moment they are now problem aware and they perceive they need to seek solution, you can do all this work to nurture them, and they may still not pick you because somebody else is offering them a cheaper version of a failed system.
Yeah. Or a system that won't work for their specific child.
But they don't know.
They don't know.
Because you know why? That competition may come to your website, pick everything you wrote on your website, slap it on their failed system, and still use your language to sell an inferior solution. It happens, guys. It happens, right? You know it happens.
It does.
Right?
It does.
Like on Clubhouse, I've seen them because I now use the word accelerator. I've seen some people who say, oh, join my accelerator program.
Oh my goodness. I'm waiting for the play-based reading because I don't hear that. I don't hear that at all. People, they'll talk, even the woman who she was talking about, the program I said would be good, but the differentiator is mine is play-based because that's how children learn best.
But okay, this is the next level. I come from the world of retail. There's high fashion, there's street fashion, there's copy and copy. Is that when you go into mainstream, once you start winning, when you spend time and your system works and the market knows your system works, they will come and copy your system. This is the game of this when you're still struggling, nobody cares about you because it's not working anyway. Right? Nobody you're struggling with like them anyway. Right? You have to, like I come from that world where we have copies of copies. No, think about this. The moment you have a detergent that is branded, that is working, next to it is the sub brand.
And they use
made in the
same colors. Same colors. It's hard to differentiate sometimes.
Because when you see the numbers that this company, like the market, this is why we go into market share. Okay, this is the game of the big giants. Is that when you become big, when you become relevant, when you start winning, when you are now right cruising. Who doesn't want to cruise?
True.
And you've done all the work. And you have your message converts. On and on. Your product is a winning product. The market is buying and investing in you. Be aware that there is now, remember when I wrote this leading, lagging, left behind?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I remember that. Don't
worry about the left behind. They can't do this work because it's work to copy.
Yes.
Right? Those who copy are still going to work. They work for that copy. Okay. They will still spend money, right? Those who are left behind, they don't do this. It's the game of those who haven't made the level of investments you've made, but they want to see the results you're seeing. They are coming after you. Know that, because once you start being the market leader in your space and you're thriving and you're showing up and you're now more public, people will be checking out what has she done? What is she doing? How did she do it? What's she saying? They'll be trolling you, following you. That's one of the reasons I say the quicker you can, those are the easiest people to sell to. They want to know what you know. They want to know how you've done what you're doing. They will spend money. They will not make the level of investment you've made. They're not ready to take that risk. But they still want to learn because they want the results you're getting. Watch out for that pool of people. They'll start growing around you. The more success you start experiencing. I don't want you to be surprised because many people go, she copied me. Listen, imitation is the best. It's the best.
Flattery.
Right? So yeah. Watch out for that. That's the price of success. That's the price of success is that, and this is why when you know that is happening and that is coming, you cannot stop.
Yeah.
China, US. If you stop, they will overtake.
True.
So those who are in front, this is why they continue to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because very, very soon, what's the knowledge you just, right, you unlocked for yourself, very soon it becomes common knowledge. That's why, this is why we race into the future, because the person who arrives first in the future, Metaverse Facebook, gets the best the cream of the top, sweeps it. Other people come from the scraps. The left behind gets nothing. So this is where Facebook, right, wants to race into the future because they want to secure their relevancy in the future. Google made a mistake. Didn't secure Chat GPT
Listen.
But guess what? The race that Amazon failed to win in the previous decade, they've now positioned themselves to win the next decade. Go and read the investment, right? Amazon, Microsoft failed when it came to Bing because Google arrived it first, got most of the market share. Bing got the leftovers. It's still a sore wound in Microsoft. So ChatGPT is an other opportunity. And this past week, they put in billions.
Yes.
Why? They want to own the future of search.
And it's not just what people have, what they've done is so brilliant, because it caused such a buzz, and people in all industries are like, how can we use this?
Oh yeah, it's usable. Yeah. Listen, that's the, I've used it. I use it. I'm going to continue. And then I recruited my husband, and immediately he used it. He sent it. Oh yeah.
The things and the way it's pairing, and everybody's like, AI. How am I using AI in my business now? How do I? It's, oh my goodness. And I feel for people.
Can you imagine what's going? Can you imagine what's going on in Google right now?
They're going nuts.
No, they're trying to buy, they're trying to partner, but it's a reaction. They could have. This is the strategy I used to do, like the big business. I love this space. This is where I'm trying to take people to, right? Is this idea that a lot of times, those who are already leading, they fail to disrupt themselves.
Yeah.
This is where Walmart got it right. When I was with Walmart, many people don't understand that 7, 8, 9 years ago, I was there. I was part of Walmart Pickup. At that time, it was just a concept. We were trying to sell it to the leaders. People were like, I don't want anybody touching my bananas. I like my bananas this way. My strawberry, no. People were skeptical. And then they did the pilot of grocery pickup. I saw it. I was like, this is a game changer. I blogged about it. They invited me. They brought like movie producers from Hollywood, came to my house. We did the speech. We did this video, some for the public, some for internal politics. They showed it to the leaders of Walmart, They got approval to roll it to their stores. By 2020, so they had about 5+ years to retool their entire supply chain in preparation for omni-channel digital physical experience for the customer. But here's what people don't understand, that the leadership style, they disrupted, they were already number one, and they're still number one. Globally, the biggest company in the world, Fortune 1, they were number one. They didn't have a competition. But for you to remain number one, that's why I'm bringing this down to you. For you to remain number one, you now have to disrupt all the patterns that is stopping you from competing with your own past successes. So one of the major investments that Doug, the CEO, put, what he spent $3 billion. Oh my gosh. The outcry. I remember that time, that 3 billion, what? This is the largest investment in purchase of a tech company, blah, 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 blah. There was a crazy stuff. He bought Jet.com, plus the staff of Jet.com that really understands Amazon. They've sold some things to Amazon before, diapers.com, So this guy, I'm talking, listen, you've taken me where this is where I deal, guys. So this is where this is my background, right? So $3 billion, they acquired the company, but the biggest asset were the people that came with the company. So they spent years completely retooling what used to be Amazon.com, because Walmart.com. Before then, Amazon stores had the headquarters in Arkansas. Walmart.com, we used to say .com, had their headquarters in Silicon Valley. There were 2 different companies inside one company, different leadership, different pays, they weren't integrated. So when it was time to do omni-channel strategy, right? Nobody would talk to Power Play, all those things, right? But when they made that level of investment, $3 billion, they were like, get your acts together. Like the future of the world is purely digital, like the Gen Zs, the Gen whatever they are, digital natives. They don't shop like their parents, the baby boomers. They are not going to show up. Like, in fact, we had data that said they go into your store, they go in, they look, they shop with your wireless, they walk out, they put it online. Anyway.
Yes. I prefer it delivered to my door. Thank you very much. And I don't have to talk to anybody.
This was years ago. I remember giving presentations about where the world was going. Like there's a company in California, Institute for the Future. Literally, if you want to know the next 5-10 years of the world, as the CEO, you can invest and get that data. But the CEOs that do not want to know, there's data for everything. There's Nelson data. Listen, these things are expensive. These big companies run on data. They don't just throw money out there trying all this, right? So anyway, let me bring this back home. You just took me to my world. Let me come back home. My point is, when you start winning and seeing results, you have to make it a point to continue to disrupt yourself. Because you have to know you're running a race against yourself, but the moment you're in business, you're not really running business by yourself. Because other people are vying for your customers. So this is where we go into market share. What is the size of our industry? What out of that pie, what am I going after? Who is going after the people I'm going after? How do I unlock myself, right? How do I differentiate? On and on and on and on and on. I know I just went a little bit complex, but
no, it makes sense.
That's where I'm coming from. The world of automotive, right? If the automotive is only selling one dimension of car, niche, how big can you get with just selling one thing? That's okay. You can create a livelihood, and that's okay. But it's back to what is the level of impact you want to have. Connecting to the game plan 2.0, the first key I shared in 30 Keys for Success to Unlock Success, I talked about legacy, and I said 3 things determine legacy: the quality of your work, the magnitude of your work, and the value of your work. Right? So many people, stop where you want to stop, but where you stop determines the dimension of impact.
And when you say that, I'm just like, oh, I know exactly. I have had this. It's not even a burning desire. It is a quiet knowing of the kind of legacy my name will leave in this world. Like, it's always been there. I hear people talk about burning desire, and I'm like, it's never been burning. It's just been this is what's going to happen. How? Oh no, we'll figure it out. And I'm figuring it out now, and I'm seeing, some fruits now. But it's when you know that and you have that, because it drives you as well. When I'm gone, what impact did I leave here? Did I leave with all the gifts I was given? How dare I? Or did I leave it all on the table like I'm supposed to?
And what you're saying now, how it relates and connects with me is me understanding that I'm here to support those people that want to leave a legacy. Because a lot of time people just want to make money, and then when I'm dragging them, 10 weeks accelerator, all my newsletters that is forcing you to think, people are like, Toyin, leave me alone. You see my point? You can see that I'm overwhelming. I am overwhelming, right? I'm kind of like this armor. Like, God only brings me in. I'm telling you, God only brings me in when we are supposed to scatter some, right? When we are supposed to disrupt and set things back. It's like the surgeon cuts you to put you in shape, right? It's painful, but listen, when this wound heals, when you do the work, you'll be better for it. So because I think this is also part of watching out for the types of people we're attracting and the types of people we're repelling.
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that there needs to be an awake for me. Everything I've done, again, I could be selling you 40 courses, or I could be selling you one program. If all I want to do, and this is where me and God, right? If all it is for me, if this journey is money, 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 listen.
There's
But no.
easier ways to make money.
Yeah, but I spent an entire year developing a program. I dedicated, when I knew I was going to do the academy, I said, God, okay, the events will have to wait till 2023. I emailed governments, I canceled some things, and I dedicated myself almost every week in the year, teaching, coaching. You know, for you, you just see my message. Here is another workbook. Here is another workbook.
Toya is live. Toya is live. Toya is live in the group, and then Toya is live on Facebook, and Toya is live on Instagram. And I was just like, she everywhere.
I'm doing too much. Even me, I'll talk to guys, say, why did you have to be like this, God? Other people, it's easier for other people. Like, and this is what I tell people too that follow is like, when you see somebody that has a vision to build a bungalow, and you have a vision to build a skyscraper, listen, they will move into their bungalow, roof their bungalow, paint it, eat food in their bungalow. You are still in the trenches building the foundation.
Amen.
Let your bungalow not intimidate you. You are going for Trump Tower.
Honestly.
It will take you. You are still in the ditch, covered in debt. They've moved in, they're eating chicken and chips.
And looking at you, like, what is this fool doing?
Telling you, I made 6 figure, I made 2 figure, whatever figure. And you're like, God. And God said, keep digging.
Oh my goodness.
Keep digging. That foundation must be strong. What we're going to build here must hold up. Guess what? When I was done with the classes, who came calling? United Nations? Come and run a program for us. Entrepreneurs from 50 countries applied. I went through 2,000. Oh my God. Now I was like, oh, magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
This work is relevant to nations of people.
Yes. Yeah.
Training entrepreneurs from nations of people. Oh, now I get it. It's not a bungalow.
No.
That's why it took me. Some people will create a course in 2 weeks. A year.
Listen, and
You go 10-week accelerator. Now I'm sending email. Okay, president of this bank. I've written my book. I've done this. I'm doing this. Next year, I'll tell you what I want from you. Let me go sleep right now. And he was like, Toyin, entrepreneurship development. You're strong. I say, Shay, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Let me figure out my ask. Nations of people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's it.
Yeah.
When you know it's bigger than you, and it's bigger than money. Because what is money? I mean, yes, we create money. You, right? This is what I'm teaching in the school. Money is printed paper with symbols and signs that the government printed and imposed value on it. Do you know? It's the same thing you can practice. You can create anything you want, NFT, whatever, and call it out. This NFT is worth $2,000. Same thing with
the same. That's the same
going to cost you this product is going to cost you this much, and then okay, well now it's going to cost you this much.
It's the same thing the government does. Mm-hmm. We don't understand. Like, this is where mindset comes in and the spiritual energy comes in. Is that the power in the government of United States is what is backing the paper.
Yeah.
That this paper, even though in its true value is what cents, but we say this is a $200 note, and you can take it into the market within this market and use that $200 note to command this value in the market. So the value comes from the creator.
Yes.
Let's bring it into entrepreneurship. You as the creator, When you create a product, you have the audacity to impose on it value and say, I want to exchange this for $200 in the marketplace. And if your story, this is the power of story, the story of America, land of dreams, hope, this, right?
Home of the brave.
Home of the brave. Story that we all believe collectively allows us to uphold that value. We all agree is 200.
Mm-hmm.
When we all agree. So this is when I talk about money, old money, new money, on and on and on, is that as the entrepreneur, you get to create your own economy.
Yeah. And that's the thing about when we were talking about before about that deep work you have to do. You have to do that deep work to be able to have the audacity to say, this is worth this amount of money.
Million, please.
And not blink, not stutter.
People that haven't done the work I've done, they put $1 million on their work. What is the difference? Their belief. Mm-hmm. They believe they are worth $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
They believe their time, energy, experience. If you want me, I'm $1 million.
Yeah. My sister's like that. It is amazing. And she's always been that way. She has always had this, do you know who I am? From the time she was a kid, I was like, you came out the womb letting the world know, no, this is what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And I was polar opposite. So for me, it took a lot of work to get to where I am now.
Right.
But
and the reason is part of this work that I do. And this past weekend, I did a lot of work, and I'm still doing a lot of work on myself. So even when I teach this thing, listen, I'm teaching what I'm doing. So there's a side of me that has empathy. Sympathy, empathy, call it whatever, the heart. And I talk to God about, why do I care so much about these people? You know, it's like Moses would say, these are your people, a stiff-necked people. You know that conversation, right? This is, I've gone into, now, what I'm talking about now is in the spiritual dimension, is that there's a certain type of work that God will put you through to prove your love for his people. I just went into spiritual. If you are not spiritual, please, don't worry, you don't get this. Is that because of the future glory and the positions and where he wants you to take you, again, remember, I just put this cap of the people I'm here to serve. I figured out they fit into legacy mode, on and on. And they are called to leadership, to lead nations, lead communities, on and on. They are big people, but they are still acting small. So what I've also said, they don't know their identity. Listen, it's part of the problem. Identity issues, right? The enemy they're making you mop the floor when you own the entire property. Okay. You are still Joseph, you are still in the prison where you're going to rule the city. You get my point? Okay, let's move on from there. I'm saying, in my relationship with God, I've come to understand that if you are the David, you will slay some Goliaths. The crown is waiting for you, but you've got to prepare. And God will test you. He will test your faithfulness, he will test your heart, he will test your love. Because the places it's taking you to, it requires you to be grounded, to be focused, to be committed, to be caring. You have to actually care about the people you're trying to serve. You have to care because God is watching to see, he's ready to send people your way. But how are you going to take care of his people? Peter, take care of my sheep. At the end of the day, we are taking care, no matter what I'm teaching, technical, blah, blah, blah. If I don't care, which I didn't used to, but God had to drag me into this drama. If I don't care, I will leave you alone. But God is like, no, you're not going to leave them alone. You're going to leave your comfort private. I'm going to make sure you sit in front of those Zoom and Restream, and you'll be teaching every day. You'll be calling people out. Game plan 1, game plan 2, 30 days, yeah. 36 to. Oh my God. Why?
It's tough. It's when you, yeah.
Say, sit down there, call them.
It's when it's a
It's,
calling.
you know,
It's
this is
different.
what it's in scripture. It's like, how would they know if nobody tells them? How would they have faith? How would they believe? The noise is too much. Lost and found. Lost sheep. Found them. Right? Because you've gone through your program, and in a year, God is like, thank you. Now we need more Kabbalah guys.
Listen, I've gone through my program, and in a year, I just had my kickoff call with the World Bank and the Ministry of Education.
They give you,
Mm.
do you want to share?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm designing the school readiness system for the Liberia, for the
Paid
country,
for by?
the World Bank.
Okay, exactly.
Took a year of building myself up.
But it was waiting for you.
Yes.
This is what I'm saying. Then yesterday I was in a room and somebody was like this, and I said, I am replicating myself. Do you get why I teach? If you know what I know, you will do what I'm doing, and you will get results. I'm talking, I'm telling you last year, United Nations, and then of course, you will do World Bank.
I swear, it was so funny when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, I got news.
I'm telling, if I'm your coach and I'm doing certain things and it's getting me certain results and I'm working at certain levels, if I pour that, it's like God, the God in us. When Jesus dedicates himself and pours himself, what did he say? He said, greater works shall ye do. It's like, you're not going to even do what I'm doing. I will so much pour into you because you carry the Holy Spirit. You will step into places I didn't even step into. That is what I want to see in you. So if I'm telling you United Nations, if you come into my stratosphere and I'm telling you, Wall Street, you see me on private jets,
oh,
you see me,
yeah.
like they're coming to fly me, did I tell you, I went to the private jet space. When the pilot came, it was like, where did you come from? Oh, I said, I had to come from this. They said, we could have come to pick you up there. I said, please?
Now I know. Next time.
I was like, oh, I need a telefon. So when I say I have a school, I have an academy, I'm teaching. What am I teaching? I'm teaching you to fly. I'm teaching you to become. I'm teaching you to elevate. I'm teaching you to go conquer.
Yeah.
So when I'm saying United Nations, you say World Bank, I say I have this nation, I say I'm talking to, listen, African Union, I've done, on my behalf. There's some things I've tested. I just need to finish. I had to dedicate a year to the school. Now I'm going back. There's some things I've tested on my behalf, requesting. The African Union has sent on my behalf message to all African countries, 55 countries with my name. This is Story, this is that I will work with her, do this. And I thought government officials from, I think 20 something countries showed up to my class. So I taught government. So I've done that. So I train government officials, but I had to create another program for entrepreneurs. That is done. 10 weeks accelerator, do that. Now, 2023, we are going back. Leave me, please. And, so I don't know. I think back to mindsets. Part of what's happening is people's mind cannot wrap their minds around the things I talk about sometimes. Or maybe they're not used to people like me doing things like this, saying things like this, and showing up. And I will tell you, this was an uncomfortable, over the last 2-3 years, God had to push me for me to even commit and show up publicly. Because before then, you wouldn't see me do all of this. Because at a certain level, we shield ourselves from the rest of the world. We don't want to be bothered.
Yeah. It was
right?
crazy to me from the position I held to I have a little YouTube channel and I have a little company and to get on camera. And I remember my first video and putting myself out there and I was just like, what am I doing? I write curriculum and manage a team for an entire nation. And then I get on here and do it doesn't feel like it aligns, but it does. But it does because you're taking the skills that you've used in this elevated position you held and you're bringing it to the masses, to the people who need it in a different way.
Right.
And that's the thing I have come to realize is I'm still doing what I've always done. Even when I was 21 and I was teaching, I'm like, I'm doing what I've always taught. This is just my babies have changed. Gone from
Right.
kindergarten to government officials to now to the parents and, you know, the wider public. And but with each of those, you have to shift that identity so that it's easier for you to talk, because otherwise it's hard to clearly communicate.
It's a call to serve.
Yeah.
It's really, truly is a call to be of service to the world, right?
Yeah.
And it requires you to, like Jesus did, wash the feet. Like, listen, you actually have to go there. You have to go into conversations that naturally, like, listen, people who know me physically, I don't talk. Like, people who know me, like outside of my own, people who see me every week, maybe in church or everything, I don't talk. I mind my business. That's who I am. I'm private. I mind my business. So even my husband, like, listen, I'm not approachable in person. I'm not.
Oh, why are you describing me? Like,
Okay.
I remember being told, my brother, I remember he told me, he said, you are such a private person. No one ever knows what's happening with you. Like, we only know what you choose to tell us. So I was like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. And then I remember when I was working in Dubai, one of my colleagues looked at me and when she finally got up to courage and she said, you scare me. I said, why? She said, you're just so sure of yourself. And I don't know how to, and I was like, I don't know, that's your problem, but okay. I just mind my business. I do my job and I go home. I talk to who I talk to and that's it. Like, but when I get in certain spaces,
right.
It's interesting because I was like that when I was in the office. But if I was with my teachers, I was a different person. Like they could never understand the Corbla guy that would go out to train teachers and the feedback they get versus the one they worked with every day. Like it's different. It felt different. And when I'm doing this work, I'm more aligned. It feels more like when I was with my teachers where it felt very natural to support, because I'm in a support role. I think that's what it is. Oh my goodness, it just hit me. I'm here actually feeling like I'm helping and serving people who need it.
It's your field of service.
Yeah.
Right? It's finding the place where you fit in and serving in that space truly in your authentic self. And being okay and comfortable and at peace in that role. That's really what it is. And then when I'm not in my space of service, you can't move me. You can't get me to talk.
But no,
I'm good. Because I now need to refuel.
Yes. I'm tired.
Like,
listen, I can't.
This is me feeding myself. I got nothing yet.
I'm like, I'm not mean, but I'm just not all smiles and hey, it's never been me.
And it's also seasonal. So for me, one of the things that is also true for me is I pick my focus area. So for last year, this year, right? And I also have this 360 woman thing. Like, so I'm kind of like this kind of person. Like, there are seasons in my life where I'll pour into women. There are seasons where I'll pour into this. There are seasons where I'll host events, because it's part of managing your energy, right? But many times when you don't know where to channel your energy, it's like intentionality, channeling your energy to drive results. And the question is, in what area do you want to drive results in?
I have to tell you something, because I was going to message you and tell you this. That video you did on intentionality, I have listened to it at least 10 times. Not even lying. I'll listen to it because I go for my walk. I'll listen to it on the way. and then I'll at my stopping point, turn around, play it again, and listen to it on the way back because it speaks to me in such a way. I was listening to it today and I was like, this is, I think, the most powerful video she's ever done for me. That intent, it hit me the first time I heard it. And then I couldn't find it again. I was like, did she take it down? Oh no, then I found it.
Where? Okay.
It's
because I also
part 2. I'm like, where's part 1? Where's part 1?
Oh, I did.
But I'm telling you that in Punctuality Part 2, I was like, this is so true, and I listened to it.
Okay, what's because I need to listen again to all of them because I want to put, like, I'm doing some work with them because I'm doing 30, like, this has been a lot of work. But tell me what of those stuff came out at you?
One thing that stuck out to me, you started talking about the differences between men and women and how they form relationships. And I was like, that is so true. How we will just give and give and give, hoping something will happen. Whereas you need to be intentional. And I think part of it was, for me, I always associated having an intent behind a relationship to be something dirty.
Oh, go on.
And so when I listened to it, I was like, but yeah, she's so right. She's so right. Because I have this group I formed and it's growing, and the intent is for them to become customers, but it doesn't take away from the nurturing and support and the genuine desire to help them that I have. It took me a long time to marry those two together.
Okay. Oh, this is good. I'm glad. This is why I want to dive into something there. You use the word dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's about perception and the story. There's a story we've been told that using our relationships to make money is dirty.
Yes.
I want to piece that. Using the relationships that we have and making money through the power of those connections is dirty. If I continue saying this, you realize that the story will fade away. The more I say it, you realize that, why do I believe that?
I think that's why I've listened to that video over and over. Because every time I listen to it, it feels like another piece of that.
It melts it away.
Yeah.
It's a belief and it's a programming. And our people have been made to believe that, because people who do not believe that, they are making so much money in the world.
Yes.
And they're using relation. How else would you make money? Where else is the money coming from if it's not from people's hands?
Right.
Right. The money you're going to make in this world will pass from one hand to another.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that the wealthiest people in the last 2-3 years, they added more money. They sucked in more money from other people into themselves. Do you know that's how the world works? That money moves from hand to hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that the key is an exchange. Okay. This is going to deliver. This is deliverance. This is deliverance. Is that you are? This is the power of entrepreneurship. It's not that we are taking money from people. The real story, this is the fake story, is what keeps people bound. The one who sets people free is this story that I have dedicated my time, energy, my money, and resources. This is the real story that I have invested my life, my time, my energy, my sleep, right? I am dedicating myself to use everything I've got to create value in the world. Hi, Oluwatoyin Mystery. Agreed with God that I will use my life to create solutions that will make other people's life better. And I also choose that work, just like the Bible says, a laborer is worthy of the wage. I choose to say, God, I want to be rewarded, that the people who participate in this, from my sweat, from my pain, from my struggle, that the people who want to choose to enjoy the fruits of my labor, that they will tell me thank you with their money. That they will not steal it and walk away. That they will not take my livelihood. I will not throw my pearls to swine. What I have created holds incredible value for me because I used my blood, sweat, equity, my time, my pain, my year, my life. I dedicated myself to learn what other people didn't learn, to create the solutions that will make themselves, their life better. And I am choosing to offer it to the world, and I'm saying the world rewards me this way. And for those who choose not to reward me, they won't participate in my fruit. I'm not giving them a right to come into my vineyard, to pluck my tree, or to take my fruit and eat it and walk away going, hee, ha, and then tomorrow they come from more. My gates, I'm gated. I've built a garden that has a vineyard of fruits. Fruits, enjoyable fruits. There's a gate, there's a gate, there's a gate. That is the story. That is the true story. It's an offer to come and enjoy what I have labored to craft. The seed has yielded fruits. You want the fruits? If you go to Walmart, if you dare take their banana and their pear without giving them $3.99, you are called a thief. There's a gate. You show the receipts. You didn't do the work. How dare you say you want to pluck and harvest? No, I have nurtured my vineyard. I have poured manure. I used my money to buy the land, to buy the seed, to buy this, to do the work. Now you can see the fruit. Oh, it's attractive. It's smelling nice. You want a piece of it. I get it. Pay the toll. It's my vineyard. I nurtured it. It's the parable in the Bible that talks about the kingdom of God is like a wise man sees a treasure in a field, went to sell all he had to buy that field because of the treasure. That's all I've done. Because after all, the people that were where I was, they're still there. They're earning their money. I walked away from all the six-figure, whatever they say, the bonuses they say, like that was comfortable. You are in your air-conditioned office. You want to learn entrepreneurship. You don't want to spend the next 5 years. I can teach you in 10 weeks, but not for free.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sacrifice what I've sacrificed. You don't have to forgo all your 401k. You don't have to do all of that. Just your 2 salary, 2 months salary, 3 months salary. Invest it in your own future. Learn it and go and build your own vineyard. I'm selling you some seed. I'm not going to give it to you free. Peace. So what story? What is not fair there? What is not fair there?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Well, like what's the corruption there? Like it's an offer. You don't need to come in. You listen. We are the people who decide to do life with me. You will see us build businesses. You will hear about us on the news. We will be in the media. We'll be on Oprah. You will see us.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So what is the problem there?
Yeah. There is no issue, and that's the thing. That's why I think it grabbed me, because I was like, wow, that piece really stuck out to me. I'm telling you, I've listened to that video over and over and over, and I'm just like, ooh, she is reading my life, being intentional, unapologetically intentional about what I'm trying to do, because I'm not doing anything wrong. And it is part of that nurture nature culture and those stories that you tell yourself and being aware of them and replacing them.
We need to come on, that guy. I still feel there's still a little bit of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a force. You have to acknowledge that there's a force, there's an imaginary force that is always going to keep people bound from their destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spiritual side of all of this thing. That the devil will not let you know what belongs to you. And it will tell you a story so that you don't run after what belongs to you.
Mm.
Can we talk about the devil?
Child. Yes, ma'am.
That there are forces at play in the world that concoct story that keep people in bondage. It's all the story. The stories is the bondage. The story is the bondage. The story is the bondage that is keeping generations, a people, a continent behind. You are eliminated from the race, from the relay race, when the story you believe keeps you at the start line and you are not running fast. Oh, your shoe, you don't have the right shoe, and you're right there stuck. And then the same person who sold you that story, they carry the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe the story they told you. Look around you. Just look around you, fortune, whatever. Look around, look at everything you can touch. Your chair, it is made by people that don't believe that story. Your shirts, right? Everything around you that you have acquired, you used your money, the shoes, you happily, joyfully went to a store to buy shoe and bag, everything. You gave your money happily to the people who created what you are enjoying.
True.
Please, the world, happily come and pay me too.
Amen.
I receive it. Please, heaven falling. I will receive it. I will chop it. I will go to outlets more. I will buy me some designer. Rain on me. Rain on me. Rain. Louis Vuitton family. Rain on them. People are happily throwing them money for handbag. Rain on me. For me, figure. They are enjoying. We are funding their lifestyle, their yachts, their clubs, their beautiful lifestyle. They are throwing parties with the money from handbag and shoes. Louis Vuitton.
True. Very true.
Listen, there's a different, and I will happily work. But listen, this thing funds, it must fund me some nice, I want to tell stories of, I am also like, it's expensive looking like.
You are a best.
Please help me. I love nice things. I've worked hard. Fund me, please fund me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like on my vision board this year, that was one thing I wrote. I was going through the magazines and I found something that said the stories we tell. And I was like, oh yeah. So I need to be intentional about the stories I choose to tell myself. Stories that move me in the direction. Yeah.
Bankable. Do you know what a bank is? A bank is a bunch of guys that came together and told a story. Give us your money. We will save your money. You bring your money to them. They turn around, use your money to invest. They now make you borrow. They now borrow you that money again.
Facts. Yeah.
Everything that's in the world is based on a belief system. What we believe and what we can make other people believe. A bank is a bunch of people coming together with assets money. They start it with their own money, and then they open their doors and say, bring us your money, bring us your money, bring us your money, bring us your money. You all bring your money to them. Now we have money, other people's money. How do we use other people's money to make more money? We borrow 2%, 3%, 8%, this percent. We borrow you for 30 years. You want to buy a house? Borrow you for 30 years. When the 30 years is over, you've paid us twice what you borrowed.
Listen.
Do we see what we are doing to ourselves? Let me be the person in the boardroom coming up with these solutions. right? Let me be that person. May God give me this is the blessing of God. The blessing of God comes to you as ideas. The idea is what you will use to trade for everything you want in the world. The seed of God's blessing comes to you as ideas. God will give you ideas that you can now use to bring in money and everything you want. So if you have hunger to make money, take those ideas and trade with it in the world. So when God blesses you, it's the one that blesses you and gives you the ability to make wealth. The idea of heaven that is dormant in people's spirits is why there is lack. The seed of greatness, everything you want is inside of you. This is where entrepreneurship, all the skills. But one of the things God told me is that people are abusing the principles of the world. They're abusing basic principles of sowing and reaping.
Trying to get where they're not. So
that's why people want the same results. Some people will go and steal. It's an It's an abuse, because here's what God will say. If you wanted it, there are certain things you could have done to get it. Genesis, right? Cain and Abel, the person who killed, wanted their sacrifice to be acceptable, but they failed to do the work that will make it acceptable. And the person whose work was acceptable, they were so jealous, they murdered that person. There are people who murder with their mouth. Why is she selling? Oh, you want me to buy? Listen, I will sell forever.
Legit. I actually encountered that with this lady who was upset. She sent me this long DM about all these issues with her son. I didn't even try to sell her. I said, here's a link, let's talk. Wait, are you selling this? I said, no, this is not for sale. This is not my offer right now. Oh, is this like a consult? And I thought, you are not who I want to work with, because your brain is so closed, I can't even get to where your issue is, because you're going to be on guard the whole time. No problem. Because there are people who are lining up, who are calling me from across the world to come and offer solutions to what the problems they have at a national scale. And you don't want to invest in your baby boy for 30 minutes to get some help. No problem. And that's sad to me. Like, this is not whatever. You don't have the skill, but you don't want the person who has the skill to even monetize it. That doesn't make any sense.
So what you just described is when I take those scenarios and I take it back in a place of prayer and I say, these are your people.
God, you see what you did? Handle your person.
One of the ways I describe it, I say, it's like you're trying to crown people, but they are not steady in their head. It's like God wants to crown you with glory and favor, but you've got to be steady. This is where mindset is. What you believe, something is making you stay steady, stay focused, commit. But it's like cricket. No. Instagram. No. Reels. Oh, no. This thing. Twitter. Oh, no.
Listen, the way I was all over creation, and now I'm just like, nope, this is it.
I'm like, God, they are not listening. They're everywhere, but nowhere.
Yeah.
And God will say, start a 30-day program. Every day. Talk about skills to unlock success. Call those things out one by one.
Child.
Legacy, communication. Okay. What did I talk about today? Time and chance, opportunity. I have a whole list. I have a list, 30 on my iPad, one by one. God is like, start addressing it head on, one by one. Just go.
Yeah. You know what's funny about you? Every time you're like, I'm a lot. I'm just like, no, you're not. You're just right. But then I realize that's just for me. For me, it's just right. Like, I need this. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, like, yeah, no, this is a lot. God has to love some people for him to unleash me. God, listen, God has to, like, it's even for me, it's overwhelmed. I like everything. Oh, I don't know if you saw it this morning when I woke up in my headspace. I just put on LinkedIn
I've
and
been
in
on
social media. I said,
LinkedIn.
what did I say? This is, it's the outcome of what I'm saying. I said, my source is limitless. My source is limitless because God is like what Jesus says, open your mouth and I'll feel it. Right? I just have to position myself. The things coming out of me, I'm seeing that there's no end to this this well. That's why I had to create an academy. I was like,
I have a lot to say. I have a lot to
right?
say on this.
And I'm not seeing there's no bottom. There's no bottom. So my source, what God is pouring into me and I'm pouring out, there's no limit to it. That's one. And then I said, success is limitless. And then I said, I am limitless. Live the life of no limits. It's
it.
coming from when I wake up, I have something to say. And the things I'm saying, they're powerful. They're transforming me. And I'm like, woo, woo, where do I point? 30-day program, game plan 1. Okay, teach. I'm like, when is this? It doesn't end. That's what the message was this morning. This was 8 hours ago. Early in the morning, maybe 5 or 6 a.m. I was like, every day I wake up, God is like, there's so much for me to teach and share. The source of this inspiration is limitless. The source is the Spirit of God. There's no limit. I need to be pouring this in books, program.
Oh, you're a mess.
Because like this morning, first of all, I did key 9. From key 9, then I took my iPad, then I went online, and then I went, oh no, I missed Instagram. Let me come on Instagram. That's why you and I saw. Facebook, my academy, okay, God. And I'm like, God, what's going on here?
A lot to say.
That's what I said this morning. My source is limitless. When we become a vessel, a willing vessel, and an able, equipped vessel, you can be willing, but if you don't have faith and if you don't develop, God uses our skills. I hope people realize that the more skilled you are, the more usable you are.
Yeah.
Right? I'm big on this, right? So an able, willing, equipped vessel, oh my God, God will drag you, man. He will drag you. Be ready to be dragged. World Bank is a dragging. You know why?
See what happens. I keep hearing that it may change.
You know why? You know why?
Right.
If somebody's in a corner, crying and praying, oh, my business, oh, my kids cannot read. God help my kids to read. And God knows Kobala Guy has in her hand the key for this person. Where is he sending them? Go to Kobala Guy and make sure you carry your money when you are going to Kobala Guy. She has the solution. Pay her, get the solution, and that's the answered prayer. Look at the Bible, the widow. The prophet served God. There were debts. What did this prophet say? Gather, go and borrow vessels.
All the
vessels. You understand that the whole world runs on borrowed money. Businesses run on borrowed money. Your mortgage is borrowed. Like, people don't understand that even the Bible sanctions the act of, you don't have what you have. Go to the people who have it. Borrow it for a while. Trade with it. Pay them back. The interest is yours. International trade, China runs on that. US runs on that. India runs on that. But what we do is we borrow to consume with no return.
Exactly.
Consumer versus producer mindset. Is that
Exactly.
either way you're running on borrowed time, borrowed resources. But people are, which is back to the game plan 2.2, the power of time. Time is an opportunity to create results, to take actions that will get you results. So either way, you're on borrowed time. The time is not yours. It's going. You can't keep it.
True.
Time is not yours to keep. It's going away. But it's an opportunity. It's an offer that during that time, trade, make money, impact life, get everything you want, leave the world a better place.
Yeah.
Parable of the talents. So I'm sure this has addressed that energy now.
Yes.
Because there's an energy flow that you don't want to hook yourself to that energy. Like you want to say, no, thank you.
Right.
Hot potato. The enemy is always offering stories. Oh, you bitch. What is wrong with you? Like, nothing wrong here. I'm about my brother's business. He told me I'm going to be like Solomon. Look at the lilies in the field. They're even dressed better than Solomon. I clothed them. I was like, clothe me, please. Clothe me, please.
That's something I would say is the mindset work, that thought work of acknowledging when the thought that you're thinking is not one that's useful to you and not from you.
It's not from you, and sometimes you can identify the source.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I did an exercise this morning. Like everything I'm teaching is what I do. This morning I was like in funky mood. Early in the morning I picked it up, and I'll share this because we are living in the real world, right? This is a map. This is a map. I called it Clear My Mind. Early this morning, today. Current thoughts. So current thoughts leading to current feelings, making me feel very hot. On one side, what are the current thoughts that I'm having? Because thoughts creates feeling. Feeling brings pain, hurts, confusion, right? Right. So for me, I've done this work. So there are times I don't feel right, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
You just have this yucky, drained feeling. And your mind cannot process it. So you don't know, but you need to get yourself out of that. This is the exercise. If something is off, I don't know what. This is the exercise, right? Okay. I need to identify what are the thoughts. What am I thinking about that is making me feel this way? That is making me feel, that is leading me to feel out of myself, right? What is hurting me? What are my thought patterns? What am I thinking about that is bringing me pain? I wrote it down on one side. That's an equation I must solve for. On the other side of this side, I said truth replacements.
Yes.
What is the Holy Spirit saying? So this is how I'm feeling. Something is here. There's a virus. There's something here that is not true, because the fruits of the Holy Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. There's something that has moved me out of the joy, the space where the Holy Spirit wants me to be. There's something that has moved me out of that space. I don't know what it is. We're about to find out. Okay. Questions I have to answer. Okay. What's bringing pain and what? Okay. So I now drew. I drew this circle because I'm trying to go to the source. That's what I'm trying to say. That thought, there's a source. What is the source of the? So I wrote something like, I'm tired. Listen, guys, this is privileged information, but I pray it helps somebody. I'm tired. Is it frustration? Do I want to give up? Okay. that? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
You want to just stay, you have to be still to what am I feeling? I have
Yeah.
to give it name. Are you tired, Toyin? Are you frustrated, Toyin? What is that? Okay. Do you need help? Right? Like I'm like digging into my mind. Okay. So I said, if I'm frustrated, why am I frustrated?
Mm-hmm.
That bubbled something up. It's taking too long. I'm frustrated that this is taking too long. Okay. What is taking too long? Okay. People buying or people results. Because it's because you can just find yourself like numb. Like, they're like, but because I've done this work, my husband can pick it up. And these things just before now, this thing can go on for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm talking about hours.
Oh, that's amazing.
I can pick the energy shift in moments now. Before you can be lingering in this space weeks, some people a year, something is off, they don't know, right? Now I'm like, okay. My husband too will be like, give her space, leave mommy alone. Like, but you don't know it's like, you don't know what's going on, but you're feeling not love, you're not feeling joy, right? So I'm saying part of this, when I say I'm teaching mindset, is that part of the journey is that now you can check yourself faster. Now you have the tools. Now you can dig deeper. And now you can get, like, and when I did all of this stuff, by the time I came out and then my husband, then we prayed, I played music, I was dancing, because out of that work that I did, I could now show up and do key number 9 and then go online and pour again and then come online. And out of that work is why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Right? But boy, it was even out of that work that I now got an idea, that I now took my own solution. This is where the lost found this came in. And then I said, I'm going online to teach it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to teach today. But I was like, wait a minute, you were going to teach key number 9. And I said, yes, I will teach key number 9 in my academy, blah, blah, blah. Then I will come out again and then I'll teach. That's why I said the flow,
Mm-hmm.
limitless.
You have to do that work. You can only do that work. You can only get into that space when you've done that internal work, because it is hard.
Yeah. And I drew 3 wheels. In my own world, I said, okay, the first wheel is product.
Mm-hmm.
The second wheel is process. The last wheel is results. You may have spent a year creating a massive product. Now you need to engineer some processes. It's like I'm trying to, doing this kind of work is where we can now use our mind to solve, instead of the virus corrupting our mind. And our mind is like,
it freezes, you can't think. Yeah, it freezes you up. Yeah.
Yeah, it freezes you up, but you're not putting your mind to work. Yeah. When you grab a pen and a paper, this is why I always say print those workbooks. Grab your pen and your paper. You are now giving your mind things to solve. We are putting ourselves to work. But as long as you don't have a pen and a paper, that thing is like, the stories, they're in your system.
You know what's interesting? My mom bought a cabinet, and I was putting it together for her. Me and my little hands. Hurt myself. Anyway, as I'm trying to put, it comes with the pictures, and you're trying to follow. And I did it by myself, so I'm trying to put this thing together. I take that thing apart like twice. I had flipped it upside down. But as I'm doing it, what I realized was the pieces were coming together, but I was thinking of business. And I was like, oh, this is what it's like. It's a puzzle. And if I do this, this happens. But then this is not the result I want, but it's mine. So I can undo it and correct it and put it back together. It came together beautifully. It took a little longer, but it was the process was problem solving. And I was able to use my mind.
Right.
And when I left that, I was able to actually sit down because my mind was already in a problem solving mode, get right into solving some issues in the business. Like
Right.
it's so nice to be able to make those connections.
Right. And you know, the beauty of it is you do more of this, you train your mind to continue to solve for you. You do less of it, you can't. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also what pieces are you working with?
Yeah.
But oftentimes, all the pieces in business, if you've not done this work, they're scattered. You have to go find them. Remember, I talked about location was one of the other series. I said the location where you're in, where you show up, where your mind shows up, will determine the knowledge you can access, the relationship you can participate in, and the resources at hand. So many people cannot build. Like you cannot build what you just built for your mom if you don't have all the screws and all of those things. You may know, they may show you the picture.
Great.
Of your vision, the vision. The vision is the picture of your destination.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of the keys. What can you see? You can see the picture of when it's all built, this is what it looks like, which is what God always shows us. We know what the end is. You know, at the end, you're going to be that person. You know your name. You know your legacy. You can see it. The potential. Abraham, I'm going to make you. You're going to be a father of generation. On and on and on. We're doing a series on Abraham. By the way, in 2 weeks' time, I'll be teaching the series, part 4 of the series. So it's different pastors in the church. My husband is in charge. Do you know what my husband did? He's the one in charge of that Bible study Wednesday night stuff. So he put me in a week 4. And then when I was going, he wrote, my husband is very good. He wrote everything, did everything. And I was now reading, saying, yeah, what are we going to teach is already what you already were talking about. I just developed the material for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
So that's what you've already been teaching, like the length of the promise, the blessing that God would tell you this is where you're going. But boy, the journey Abraham had to go on, right? So I've been talking about that in my own journey, like see part of the frustration. Too long, right? Why is it taking too long? But God told me, listen, girl, the size of the promise, the size of it determines the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that needs to sink. That needs to sink. Like what you ordered from heaven, Tony. Wow. What you said, give it to me. Ask of me the nations for your inheritance, the ends of the earth for your fufu. Give me Africa. You asked for it. What you ordered, the chef is cooking. Hey. What you claimed, Kabbalah guy, you gotta cook. Somebody's you patience.
I thought I was a patient person. I have learned that I always thought I was patient. Then I moved to the Middle East. I would joke with people. I'm like, nah, you got the patience level you have to have here is different. And then I was like, oh, so that was preparation for this level of patience I have to have now. So
yeah,
each level.
Right, and it's so anyway. So I'm just sharing here my own personal stuff going on in there. But at the end of the day, you know, everything I teach fits together: vision, perception, awareness, legacy, dedication, focus, committed. Oh, I see all those things, and I want what God wants for His people. But then everybody's everywhere. And this is why, I don't know if you've read Marketing Like Jesus, the book I wrote. It hasn't been
read it a while ago. When you first put it out, I read it.
I've been teaching lessons on it. I want to now teach it. That's why I've not released it. Like each chapter is a lesson, it's a workshop. Because, so that's why I said, there's so much I need to teach. It's just plugging it in the. So here's one of the solution is that Jesus actually called out the enemy and he differentiated himself. He made sure people knew that something is out there distracting you and you're not focusing. Mary, Martha, which one are you picking? Cooking everywhere, Instagram, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Focus, guys, focus. There's a one way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. My program is this. You have to call it out. My program is this, is that, is this. Other people will promise you this, but that leads to what?
Mm-hmm.
The enemy will tell you this, but the end is what? Jesus had to differentiate. Because if he didn't differentiate, you would think it's just one of the prophets. No, I am the, no other, no other, no other. Because if it wasn't clear then, trust me, years after, people has been trying to model his message. How can God say he's the only way? No, Jesus said, I am the way. He was clear. He was clear. Don't say what he didn't say.
His messaging.
Do you know how many attempts has been made to twist God's message? Jesus had to be clear. If you're not clear what your solution is, it will be muddled up. You will be a sea of solution in other solutions. So I'm like, no, my academy. My academy is not teaching you one thing. It's the 360. Please
Right.
don't touch it, my baby.
It's for special people.
It's
Oof.
you have to do. This is your life work. If you
Yes.
don't, if Jesus didn't elevate it, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. You've got to call those things. So marketing like Jesus, like marketing for Christians, uses the same principles to say, you're trying to offer, you care deeply. These people are praying. Their livelihood is at stake. These, their children for you, right? They are praying and you are, and you truly believe you are a solution. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I came to seek the lost. Jesus said that. I came to seek the lost. If you think you don't need me, Pharisees, he called them names. You vampires. No, he didn't say vampires, but he called them, you hypocrites. You, Jesus, I can see Jesus say, ooh. You know, I remember when he talked about, when people wanted to stone the woman, and he just said, I'm sure his mind will be like, what am I going to tell these people? But let me calm down first. He wrote on the ground. Once he had the word, he said, okay, if you are the one that I've never seen, let me see you throw the first one, and you will see what heaven will do to you. So anyway, I love those things, right? I love those things because you can borrow from it. You can learn from how did Jesus delivered. He differentiated. He didn't allow you to mix him up. He didn't allow you to say he was one off. He didn't allow you to he said, my sheep hears my voice. If you're not going to hear, you are not my sheep. If you're not going to hear, you haven't been assigned. And even when he was leaving, he said this final prayer. He said, thank you that all you committed into me, they were saved, except for the one that's right, Judas. So even Jesus said, the people you committed under my care. So for me, it's the same. My academy is a space for learning, for focus, right? I've dedicated myself. The people assigned, whose life will be transformed, yes, bring them. And the people that are out there that think I am one of, that think is because they've not been assigned.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, so I've been teaching little by little. So there's a lot in that book, but each chapter is a lesson. There's even a work study. That's another work I have to do. So I have so much like books I need to get out there. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I could say, sorry?
I said, it's going to be good though.
It is like, yeah, it's even incredible to see the unveil, like what God had planned. And the reason I'm sharing this is as well is realize, particularly if you're a spiritual person, know that you're on a journey and you're unveiling. You see my point? That what you see today, that journey, there's only so much. It's like a tree. It's like cocoa tree. You might tend it for 5 years, but boy, it serves the next 30 years. It serves like, but corn, you can only eat of it in a year. Right? But the first fruits of cocoa or cacao, people call it different names. I don't know what it is, right? The first fruits, what you have to do, the quality, the magnitude, the impact, the value of what that tree will produce, it's in proportion to what you sowed. It is in proportion.
Makes sense.
It is like, I know people want magic when they see, like, people want magic, but the dedication, the life, the commitment, how committed we are on this journey will show up in the quality of our work. Passion sells, desire, but I will passionately bring myself to the world. And those who want it must passionately spend their money to acquire it. After all, we passion, like Louis Vuitton. People, please passionately drop that money at the feet of my academy. I love it, please. Isn't that what we do?
True.
$50,000 Birkin bag. What's my bag? Please carry my certificate with pride. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
It's about value. You will create value passionately. Freedom, the freedom to create, right? Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it. It's a mandate. There's a series I've designed for churches, the wealth creation mandate. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, cover the earth with your creation. Go global, please.
Okay, then.
Because God in heaven has already decreed a blessing over your fruits. You don't have to ask permission to go and feed it to people all over the world. You don't have to. You already have a mandate that when you bear fruit and it's changing lives, spread it. More people around the world will be happy. You already carry that blessing. You don't need anybody you don't need me. You don't need anybody to give you permission for that again. Spread it. The blessing of multiplication. Jesus said, I will prune everything that doesn't help you multiply. I want you to bear more fruit. This is the desire of God. Do you understand? Unleash. God wants to unleash the power he has deposited in you. That is, that is the desire of God, your creator. You make him proud. When you unleash, you bear fruit and you multiply. You actually are making God incredibly proud. He is dancing. Right? That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the joy of heaven when we are here. Because after all, listen, look around you. The world is going down the drain. You are the salt of the earth. Don't let it corrupt. Children are already going without you. Listen, if you don't do what you are called here to do, the clear path to nothingness is there.
Yeah.
But when you stand up, when the righteous rule, when the righteous bring order, we bring order to a chaotic world. We heal the brokenhearted. We said right? These are things you are supposed, You can do it with your product. Your products are anointed. It brings deliverance, mental. I know the effectiveness of my work. You listen to me enough.
Listen, I know the effectiveness of your work.
You listen to me enough, you'll be like, devil, you're a liar. I'm going for my money.
Yes.
I am going for my money. I am going to price it well. Toyin said, Toyin said, show me the money. I can negotiate. I know my value. Devil, get thee behind me, Satan.
Oh my goodness. Toyin.
We've talked to you. You can say, Toyin said, there's money.
Honestly.
He said, don't do that for free. You remember your video, your YouTube video?
Listen. Oh, those YouTube videos. When I looked at where my traffic was coming from, I'm like, this is coming from Blackboard. This is college professors using my content to teach their course. What? That I'm putting out there for free. Just breaking it down. This is what it looks like, and these are the steps, and this is how you differentiate it. Wow.
So in summary, now that you've created, now that you've brought into the world, now that you're serving, there's now a new delight and a joy. It's like a baby. Like you now have to celebrate. Like there's a new elevated type of expression. You now have to, because when we are on the ground, it's an ugly place to be. Yeah. But remember, when that elevated, you have to now rewire your being. You now have to, and I've seen some of your video, I can see it. I'm saying you can speed it up by doing this work of elevating yourself mentally. Be the provider of solutions. Be the medical doctor. You know, there's a prestige. Why? What's that prestige? You've done the work. You spend longer time to become a doctor. You know what will serve people, right? That medical doctor prestige of, listen, I know my stuff. If you come into my space, I'm going to solve, right? Like boom, boom, boom. I'm in and out. Problem solved. Like the speed at which I can address and create, so it's so fast that coach. You can listen, you can go to 150 coaches and they still will not give what I can give. I know it. I call it the efficacy, the effectiveness of my dose. If I tell you do this and you do it, follow the process, right? It's like Google Maps. If Google Maps gives you map and you don't like Google Maps and you can go get lost. Your fault. Google Maps have gone to where you're trying to get to. Turn right, turn left. Turn right, turn left. Just listen to the instruction. You will arrive. You fail to listen, turn into the wrong neighborhood. You're on your own. Google show me the way. Anyway, I'm trying to be funny. But anyway, I'm trying to wrap up.
That just took me back. I literally have done that and been like,
You didn't listen. You're like, I know where I am now.
In the wrong neighborhood going, I should have listened. Let me back out of here.
Yeah. And so the new space is the new flow of grace. You now have to be gracious to the world, right? Like the world doesn't owe us anything. Right? So if we remove all of the, because I can see people, no. You don't owe me nothing. I'm not looking for nothing from you. Are the one looking for my fruits. The solution. You're the one who needs the doctor. Jesus called it out. I'm here for the people who need help. The people who think they don't need help, please keep going out there. But the people who have realized, we remember the map. Those who now say my symptoms, I need to diagnose my symptoms. I want to eliminate this pain, because procrastinators, I don't know if you've seen me write this, procrastinators, until the pain is the pain they're going, procrastinators have high pain tolerance. Okay, procrastinators, they know the pain, they'll procrastinate the solution until it becomes unbearable. So as long as the procrastinators can bear the pain, they won't come in.
Mm-hmm.
So let that toothache until it falls off.
And you know what's terrible? I sit here and I have conversations with people who did that very thing with their child and reading, and now years later, it's awful. It's the parent's stressed. The child feels like they're stupid. And I'm like, you're not dumb. You were shortchanged. People didn't do what they were supposed to for you. And
at the right time.
Right.
You know,
at the right time.
Talk about
now
time.
You have compounded issues. So it's Toyin, it's hard.
It is. And this is why, so the game plan said, one of the things I talked about is time. Mm-hmm. People think they have time. People think they have time, and they don't know there's a right time. One of the things was it yesterday, God just revealed this and I shared it publicly, is that your future requires you to make certain investments today. And when you don't make those investments and you don't build that foundation, you will arrive in the future and the future will be looking at you. You didn't bring what you were supposed to bring.
Yeah.
So people turn 60, 70, 80. They knew they should have started a business when they were 30. They show up in 80, 90, and they didn't do the work. And the future is like, sit down on your rocking chair. It's over. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm saying time matters, because your future, the investments you make today is into your future, and your future can look differently based on the investments you make today. But people are saying, when I retire, do you know how many people that say, when I retire, I'll have more time? When you retire, you arrive in 65. And 65 is now saying, we have work that the energy of your youth was the only way to do this work. Like, we needed the energy of your 20, of your 30, of your 35, of your 40 to do this work. You don't have that energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
This work required your 35-year-old self.
Yeah.
To have taken a risk. There's a certain risk your 35-year-old self needed to have taken. You didn't take it at 35. Where you're showing up now, retired. You said when you retire, but listen, the foundation doesn't exist. What are we going to do now at 65? So people think they have time. Oh, when I'm this, I will do this. When this was, then I will do this. 2020 was the wake-up call. So that's the risk. The last 5, that type of work. You don't want to do it when you're 50. When you're 65, you don't want to do the what I just went. You don't want to. I didn't. But now, school. I've said, my academy, by God's grace, I'll be giving you certificate 80 years. Let's see, I will just be like, have you gone to my school? Thank accelerator.
You'll have certified trainers.
Have you taken my trades with Africa? This. Oh, yes. Go to my school. Have you clicked on, and if we're in the metaverse, I will join you in the metaverse. Because if you can reverse into your future, if you can see into your future, when you're in a certain space, what life do you want? Start building for that future now. That's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. Because in the future, you fly me in to give a 30-minute speech and you will pay me millions. You see my point? Like, I'm just saying that if you want it, if you can see it and you want it, use today. Today is the time is the opportunity to build your legacy. Today, not tomorrow. Because you arrive in tomorrow will tell you, you didn't bring the screwdriver from yesterday. The screwdriver is missing.
Honestly.
Your yesterday was for you to gather the screw and nuts and bolts for what you are supposed to build today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you do? Well, screwdriver is now expensive. Inflation.
I tell you.
Inflation. You really see, when you arrive, it's 80, 60, it's not more expensive. 3 times the cost. Okay, this is, you see, this is too serious. Let me wrap it up. It's not for everybody.
We're starting to go.
Sorry?
I said we're starting to spiral now.
Yeah, because everything is, when you see me talking about the game plan, everything comes together. It comes together because this work, why do I need to do this work when I don't have to, if I don't have to? Right? Because corporate is easy. Please, like the easiest money you can ever make. So if Toyin is now saying become an entrepreneur, or everybody wants the shortcuts. Give me the quicker way, Toyin. That's what Clubhouse is about. They're getting the piece and meal. They're not building the strong foundation. Everybody is looking for the short way around. But I'm trying to say, go straight in the middle. Cut it in the middle. That's what I'm asking people to do, to go through the middle and blast through obstacles and get onto the other side victorious.
Yep.
So, but the question is, why? Why are we making, why do I have to, why? The question is why? Why do I have to do this or what? Why do I have to do this work? Why do I have to do, after all, the next person is selling me, they can do this work for me. Listen, nobody's going to build out your legacy for you. They can sell you a program, they can sell you this, but nobody's building legacy for nobody. No. Nobody's doing, nobody is carrying you. No, I'm nobody. But that's where that message gets, it's like when some of the disciples was like, God, Jesus, your message is too harsh. You eat my flesh, eat my blood, like, yeah. And people turned away. And Jesus looked at it, it's like, you two, are you leaving me? Say, no, out of your mouth is the view. Where are we going? This is like, this message is where it gets, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where people start separating. Sheep, right? Jesus also uses sheep, right? It's like there's some principles that I'm going to teach. It will be too strong, too hard, too much. That people will go, you know what? No, but thanks. Let me go back. Right? And some people will brave it and say, we're ready. You know, the courage of the warriors that fought with David, that they crossed to get him water. Like, I'm into that kind of, you know, I'm coming from a world where there's a certain level of seriousness, like fighting for like generations, father, grandfather, building companies together, fighting, raising big. But I see people on the streets like, no, it doesn't matter. It matters. What you don't do, your children will suffer because you didn't make their life better. Like, the next generation needs to build on your legacy. And when you listen.
In that video I keep watching, you said it point blank. You said, this is basic stuff, guys. We should be teaching our children this. Okay? And I was like, facts. But people won't.
You know why? Immigrants. Let me bring it home. Immigrants like you and I have been living in America for 30 plus years. We should be employing ourselves in our own industries by now. True or false?
True.
Other people are doing it. The reason our own work is cut out for us is because we are late to the game.
Mm.
We are trying to build what we should have been born into.
Yeah.
We should have been showed and taught these principles. Our journey would have been easier. We wouldn't have been carrying resumes looking to go to other. We should be employing ourselves and building our own, right? So we are trying to do what others have done and nobody has taught us how to do.
Yeah.
And when we do it, the next set of people build on it. And when those don't do it, somebody still has to do it. So I tell people, look across how many immigrants. This stuff, if it were easy, who can you lean on? Do we have radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, media? Do we have media? Our job will be easier, Kabbalah guy. If TV, radio, media were owned, and because this is where partnerships, the muscle. But I mean, I'm out here in the streets. My PR persons, they are begging for. So this is bigger. This is bigger. Let's not play around it, right? Is that the reason this is hard? Is that this is the first generation of trying to figure this out, what others have figured out for 100 years.
Yeah. Very true.
After all, you are being employed by those industries. Somebody built where you are invested. Somebody dedicated their life. You are living and enjoying somebody else's legacy.
Very true.
Right. So somebody took the risk 50, 60 years ago. Go and read their story. They probably mortgaged their entire house. They sold all they had. They borrowed money. They did everything they had to do. They struggled. They looked like beggars. People mocked them. They suffered. They did all these things to build. And now you are sitting enjoying somebody else's labor. Who is going to do that labor for your own generation?
Ciao.
Yeah. And if we're not even talking about dead founders, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos kneeling on the ground, carrying books, mailing book, his back, his knee. You gotta read the story. His knee aching them. The best thing they could get was to buy a desk so that they would be standing up. Before they were kneeling down to pack the books. The best machine, the best engineering was for them to now stand up and get a table. What are we thinking, guys? What are we? And this is 20 plus years ago. So don't even think 50. Go and read Google. Go and read all these people. So who are we kidding? When are we going to build ours? When? Who's going to build? Who, you think people will build it for you? No way. The best thing they can do is to employ you, to help them build theirs. Nothing wrong with it, my sis. Nothing. I feel it's the beauty of America.
Yep.
That's why I said this message. I won't tell you. I'm just saying. Anyway, see.
No why. You just have to know what's for you and what your why is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because that if you don't know your why, that journey go be like God.
When you hit those rough spots, you're like, I'm done. I'm done with this. This is stupid. Why am I doing this to myself? There's an easier way of living life.
Yeah. So like in my book, like that's if you don't have this understanding that is bigger than, I say, tell people, if all you need is a livelihood, go get a job. There are many jobs that will pay you so well. Like they'll pay you so well. They will pay you so well. Be blessed. They will pay you so well. Big house, big car, live large, American dream. You don't, please, That is, go and get that big 250. You will make so much money.
Mhm.
It's listen, America is filled like it's a blessed country.
Very.
But what I'm talking about is not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's building legacies, building something that other people like. It's so much more than that. So anyway, parting, parting words.
All I have to say is that having access to a clear path and tools has made this journey so much easier. Like I can't thank you enough for putting that together and making it available, making yourself available. Because no, I look at it was a year ago that we had our first meeting, and you called me out on a bunch of stuff, and I was like,
I did.
"It's gonna read my life."
I did. I was like, I'm looking at you. You are the global leading expert. Why are you not calling yourself
And
that?
I was just like, "What's she talking about?" But it was having someone like you in my corner has been a blessing in so many ways.
Mm.
And that work you did last year with us was it's priceless for me, because it gave me such clarity. And what I love is that it's not something that's just applicable to one specific niche or
It's
whatever.
life.
It's principle, it's
It's life.
foundation. It is life, because you can take these principles into life and
Yeah.
into business, and it works.
And it's who you become. And I say you become unstoppable, and you can then bring a force and an energy, and you can conquer more. Like you can just be like that bad, like, yay, look at me, I'm here. Like big, clear the space, like you become that.
I have arrived.
Yeah, like like it's me. Like, and when people want to treat you somehow, be like, no, unacceptable. Please, not here, not acceptable. Like, you can't tolerate crap anymore. Like, listen, is that person of influence and power and value? That is the key. That's who you become. Like, listen, like I do all kinds of stuff. I do, like, this week I played some stunts. Like, there's some things like, oh my, I won't say it publicly, but there's some, like, if I want something, nobody's standing in my way. Like, I want that. You being a gatekeeper, I will move your hands. You can't gatekeep. If I want something, this is what there's another side to my work, like my events, ambassadors, and all of those things. I use the 12 strategies for winning. I use those principles to bring in ambassadors. How dare you tell ambassadors to fly with his team to come and meet you in Chicago? Who are you? Toyume Siri. Who is Toyume Siri? Check her out. I'm like, this is what we used to do. Like, the principles work. They work. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, it works. It works. It works. I use it. I used it. I use it. Effective. People came to my event and were like, who is doing? Like, who is backing her? Like, how is she? I do things nations, governments cannot even, I will pull it off. It works. Because God in heaven is my backer.
I love it.
Yeah. God in heaven is my backer. And it's like, keep going. So the key, I said something to you, and I think it's touched you, but I need it. If that's the only thing I want you to take away, is you make God proud by your work. The excellence in your work. I need you to drink that. Drink it so well. When you walk, every space you go in, let the God in you gives you the right to step, to show up, to solve, to speak, to command, to solve. I felt that, like, that's it. The God in me God in me is so proud by me being fierce. They who know their God will do, right? If you know your God, if you don't know, but if you know, you have to know that God, he said the whole earth is waiting for the manifestation of the children of God. Like, I practice this. I don't talk too much about my faith when I'm right. But listen, I'm a walking epistle. I'm a walking Bible.
Pastor Mrs. Brain.
Like, what are we going after today, God? Send it. I'm the walking epistle. I'm a walking. I'm a fully operational. I'm powered by the gospel. This operating system. You know, when I talked today, I said operating system. If your belief is the operating system guiding your action, my own operating system is the word of God. If he says it, oh, I want to see it. I want to taste it. I want to experience it. I want to be there. I want to. Is it not this life? If there are promises he has for you, if he says, if you are faith, if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. Ah, where is the good of the land? Look at me. My TV show is the good of the land. America, Illinois, flag. It's the good of the land. It belongs. Listen, I will eat of the best.
I believe it.
Powered by Jesus. That's my life. I agree. Powered, a life powered by grace, a life powered by Jesus. Oh, if God in heaven can power a life, let it be mine. Let it be mine.
The title of your next book, A Life Powered by Jesus.
Powered by grace, powered by Jesus, powered by God. And if God can move now, here, now, in a life, like, what would Jesus do? In and like, okay, bye, everybody.
I'll see you later.
Bye.